What's going on, everybody? It's Andrew Jones, and welcome to the second video of this Java tutorial set. In this video, we're going to be doing the very famous Hello World program, which every programmer needs to do. It helps you actually understand a little bit of code and get your hands dirty. So let's get in here. All right, so hopefully you have your Java Eclipse and you have your JDK downloaded. Open up Eclipse, and then on the left-hand side, you're going to see the Package Explorer. You're going to right-click that and then go to New and pick Java Project. All right, now we need to name our project. So I'm going to go ahead and name this Hello. Use the default location, and then at the bottom, just click Finish. All right, now that you have your project created, we need a class within it. So we're gonna click New, and we're gonna pick Class. Every program requires a class, and every class requires a main or a method. So we need to name this too. We're gonna name this Hello Printer. Now, you'll notice I capitalized the first letter. There's two words, and there's no space between the words, and the first letter of the next word is also capitalized. That's called camel casing, and you use camel casing in programming. And to be specific with a class, you always capitalize the first letter and then use camel casing for each upcoming word. All right, so you're gonna wanna finish with that. That's gonna create our class. And here we are. We have our very first class, and it's called Hello Printer. Now within the class, we're gonna need what's called a main method. And just write down what I'm writing down. It's public, static, void, main. And then within those parentheses of the main, you're gonna write string. The square brackets, which is an array in Java, and we'll get to that later. And then you're gonna write space, arguments. Now, as we get through the tutorials, I'll be able to better explain this to you, what these are, but just for a brief lowdown on it, you're gonna have your class, and then the curly braces. See how the top and the bottom, it's basically, it encapsulates whatever's between that. So this class is encapsulating this main method. And the main method, you have public, static, void, main. As we get further in tutorials, it'll make more sense of what that is, and I'll be able to explain each one individually. But for now, just know that each class needs to have a method, and each Java program requires a main method. Hope that makes sense, but it doesn't matter if it doesn't right now. We'll get to it. So, in order to output to the screen the words Hello World, we need to use a method that Java has, and it is called system.out.println. Basically, just copy that down exactly what you see. System.out.println, and then this X is going to be whatever the arguments, so you can type your arguments within the parameters here, and then the semicolon ends that statement. So system.out.println is a statement, and it's within the main method. And the main method is within the class. Hopefully that makes sense. So system.out.println, and then what you want to do in the parameters of this statement is going to be your quotations, and then inside of it, you're going to type the characters that you want to be turned into a string. So you're going to put hello, comma, world, and then this is the program right here. It's as simple as that. you have your system.out.println with your arguments right here. Now, this system.out.print, that built-in method of Java, will display to the screen whatever you put in the arguments right here. Now, since we put the quotations in, Java looks at those quotation marks and sees whatever is between those two quotation marks and displays it and sees it as a string. So basically, it looks at each individual character. So it looks at capital HELLO, comma, space, capital WORLD, exclamation mark. It looks at those individual characters and turns it into a string. They're in that order, they're stuck in the memory in that order, and that's what they're going to be. So let's go ahead and run this program. To run the program, you go up here, and it's the green circle with the white arrow. You're going to click on that. This should pop up. Now, if you don't want what this pop-ups for, or what it pops up for, is to save the program and launch it. You can go ahead and click the always save, and that way this doesn't, it'll automatically launch as soon as you press the run button. All right, so we're going to click OK. Now, if we go down to the bottom here, you can see that it says hello world. So what it did was it outputted that string to the console, to the display. All right, so if you copy this code down exactly like I have it, you will have written your first program. It is simple, but it is your first program, and congratulations. All right, so we'll just go over it one more time. All right, we have our class up here. It's called Hello Printer. Every program requires a class or multiple classes, and there must be a main method within your Java program. That'll make sense later. Now, in order to have a main method, it has to be this exact thing: public static void main with string array arguments within the parentheses, within the parameters, and then your curly braces, which, remember, encapsulates whatever is in that method. Now, this main method, even though you can create a program that does many, many, many things from top to bottom, all this method does is it prints out to the screen a string that says hello world. This is right here. This curly brace is the end of your main method, and this curly brace is the end of your class. And as you can see, it did exactly what we wanted it to, was hello world. All right, I hope that helped kind of break down what you need in order to create a class, and hopefully you'll understand a little bit about the main method. Now, obviously, as we get farther throughout the tutorials, it'll make more sense, but, you know, practice this, write this down. It has to be exactly like it is. Like, for instance, if you have lowercase, that, and you try to run it, it's going to say that errors exist in the project. And you can proceed anyways, but you're going to get an error down here. And it'll also tell you what was wrong with the program. It'll tell you, like, Java will actually tell you what kind of error it ran into. And we'll get to that farther in the tutorials. But for right now, I just wanted to show you this program, and then for you to write it and actually get your hands dirty with some code. All right. Thanks for watching, everybody. This was Andrew Jones with Uni Programmer, and I will be back with more tutorials.